She was born in Willow Spring, North Carolina. She joined the United States Army to pay for her nursing school education. When she retired in 1993, she was the commanding officer of Fort Belvoir. Here, in her own words, Brigadier General Clara Adams-Ender.
Absolutely not. And the reason why, when I came into the Army in 1959, women couldn't be general officers. The first female that made general officer in the Army made it in 1970, Anna Mae Hayes. And I'd been in the Army 11 years by that time, you see. So that it was one of those things that I really envisioned, because I didn't even know we could get to that point. I think that we have come a long way in terms of dealing with opportunities for women in the military, and in terms of women in positions of importance as far as the military is concerned. I think that we have a long way to go, and I would be the first to admit that we have a long way to go. But I also want to admit right up front that we've come somewhere. We've come a long way. But I will tell you, much of it has to do with the persistence, because women, and as I talk to some of these youngsters these days, they will not be denied. You know, they'll do whatever it takes in order for them to get to the places they want to get to. The other part is that there have always been some men who were willing to support us and to be able to put us in positions where we were able to move along. I've had it happen to me, and I'm grateful to those fellas to this point, because without them, I would never have been able to go and do many of the things that I have done. My rise to the stars, how a sharecropper's daughter became an Army general. Well, I'll tell you, it wasn't promised, and it's not promised to anybody. But one of the things that I think was very important with me along the road was I never, ever thought it important to turn down any job. Overcoming obstacles in this world is very, very important. And all of the time, you don't have to go and beat your head against the wall in order to overcome an obstacle. You might have to sometimes decide if you're going to go over, under, around, or through it to get to your goal. But you will get there if you're willing to just be persistent and overcome those obstacles. Because our obstacles are not always set up to stop you, you know. They just want to give you a little bit of backbone so that you can go do what you got to do. Much of what happens to you in this life is not that anybody's trying to do anything that makes you less than what you are or whatever. It's all about how you react and respond to what happens to you. And I've always had a positive attitude that someplace in all of this garbage that I got here in front of me, there must be a pony down there. But I had made sure that I had done those things that was necessary. There was a saying that Chappie James used to always tell, General Chappie James, the first African-American four-star that we had in the military period. He used to always say that he had a elementary school teacher that used to always tell them, when the door of opportunity opens, there's no time to go home and pack your bags. You gotta have the bags ready to go when somebody calls your name and say, this is your opportunity. You gotta be ready to go. And I always try to make sure I was ready to go.